Flobo Boys, THS, formerly that hashtag show.
Hey, how are you?
How's it going, fellas? It's early morning here in Los Angeles, but I mean, wherever you are you feeling the morning vibes too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're on your time. We're West Coasters. So
all right, well, the coffee's on its way. I get you. If you partake. Let's get into it. See, let me ask you this. How do you go about breaking down the character of Quasi? Was that just something that was on a bucket list somewhere? Like, you know what? This guy is not getting his due.
well, I used to work with a guy at a record store who he was the head of the blues department, and he spoke like this out of the side of his mouth. He talked about how lonely he was and how he played the saxophone in his window every night in the summertime and just sweat the blues. And I would go back to these guys and we would riff on this character. And then, we started thinking of him as like, what kind of a character could he be? And we started to riff him into a hunchback. And then we're like, because that's, like kind of more of a loser. And then we put him in ancient France. And then we put him in the worst possible situation, which was, the king and the Pope using him as their tool to try to assassinate the other one. And then we made him a virgin. And I think that was as low as we could get this guy.
Much lower than that.
That's awesome, inspiring. I'm not sure how to respond to that. Well, moving on, Paul, this one's actually for you. You work with the great Adrian Pilecki in Quasi out on Hulu just a couple short days from now. What was that like? And more importantly, are there any more people on the bucket list to collaborate with further on?
It's a great thing is we always kind of bring in one person on every movie to legitimize what we do, so we don't just look like clowns just running around trying to make each other laugh. And you're always hoping that they'll be cool because you don't know. And she showed up and she was awesome and the perfect queen, funny, beautiful, and just fit in seamlessly with the guys. So we all have, I think, have always lucked out. We've talked about Brian Cox, who's so great to work with. We got to work with Bill Paxton, Michael Clark Duncan. And so it just continues the streak of, I think, being incredibly lucky with the person that we invite to join the show.
Oh yeah, keeping it non-committal for future projects. I like it. That's very diplomatic. We're open for business for everybody.
Everybody, all are welcome. All are welcome.
I don't need to tell you that comedy is hard. Jay, this question is for you, actually. It's been a while since the release of Beer Fest and Super Troopers. How has humor evolved for audience, if at all? And was that anything that influenced the making of Quasi?
Well, I mean, look, the times have changed, but I think there's a sort of a little bit of a backlash within the comedy world against these changing times. But ultimately, we write certain jokes and, we debate whether we can do certain jokes, and 99% of them we do. And there's that 1% that are jokes just for us because they're just not ready for public.
Where do they go? I'm just curious. It's like in a book.
We'll whisper them to each other and we'll crack up, but we don't actually put it on film because we want to have a longer career.
Right. So this one's a bit more challenging then, just as a follow-up then to make that story happen and to still make it hot to your brand and still make it enjoyable, or it's kind of like you lockstep of what you need to do.
Well, I think our philosophy has always been, if we can make each other laugh, all of us laugh, then it's funny, and that's what's worth putting down on paper.
We just assume that there are other people like us, and that if we laugh at it, that we think other people will hopefully laugh at it too. That's sort of the philosophy.
I can respect that. Kevin, Broken Lizard is a brand. It's an institution. Is it like a sports franchise? Are there like a farm system? Is there a second generation on the horizon, you think?
Well, it's funny. Like I put my kids in this movie, and they've, they know that all their kids, and they the Broken Lizard kids want to start Broken Lizard 2, so you bring it up to the next level. I don't know.
One of your daughters is an improv.
She's an improv
actress,
person,
so.
yeah.
Cool. And she's at Colgate. We started the comedy group at Colgate, and it still exists today.
Well, and Jay's son and Kevin's daughter are both going to Colgate
That's
next
right.
year as freshmen.
Maybe they'll come up.
So they're going to be the second tier.
Right.
Is
it encouraging, or is it kind of like, no, don't do that. Do a real job. Like, what's that?
I definitely did not encourage the kids to do that, but sometimes they just kind of, that's the direction they go into. Yeah. But we worked hard for a long time to get where we are, and it's tough. So yeah, I mean, you gotta let them know that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's got one more final question. This one here is for Erik. Is there room for a franchise in this medieval French universe, or is this kind of like a one and done?
Oh, it's a lot of room for medieval spin-offs.
bro,
Yeah, lots
sequel.
of sequels, spin-offs. It'd be like its own Marvel universe. Yes, answer is yes.
Quasi-verse.
Quasi-verse,
Yeah.
okay.
Quasi-verse. I like
A
that.
bubonic universe. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Quasi is coming
you.
out soon, especially
Thank
in
you.
Hulu. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.